Hi everyone, my name is Lexi and welcome back. Today I'm here with Sebastian. When I studied abroad back in fall of 2022, I went to Maynooth University in Maynooth, Ireland, and Sebastian is going to be my guest today. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and where you studied abroad, Sebastian?
Hello everyone, my name is Sebastian. I studied abroad in Universidad de Nebrija, Estudios Hispánicos. I studied abroad for 1 month. It was such a great experience. My first language is Spanish. I had a great time with people from Spain. I learned a lot about their culture. I go to Texas A&M International University. My university is immersed a lot into Hispanic culture since we have a lot of different culture from Latin America. And I'm just here to talk about my experience.
Amazing. Yeah, so thinking back to before you went and studied abroad, was there kind of like a defining moment where you definitely decided that this is what you wanted to do, you wanted to study abroad, and kind of how did that feel to you?
At the beginning, I had so much fear to study abroad. It's just to go to a different country, just expenses. I was not sure if I was going to be able to do that. I was just scared, but I was helped by an AIFS ambassador in my institution. She helped me to go review the scholarships, the programs that they were, the costs and everything. And after careful consideration, I chose Spain with the Universidad de Nebrija. I think it was the best decision that I could have ever made. The defining moment where I decided to study abroad is when I would talk to students from that would study abroad in my university. We each receive a lot of students from different institutions in the world. And just to talk to them, hear about the experience, how it has changed them, both personal and in a professional sense, it motivated me to proceed and just do it.
Yeah, there's always that moment of when you kind of like have the realization that you're going, and it is pretty scary to be like, make that big jump and that big commitment. But once you go through with it, it definitely pays off.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is something that I would recommend to everyone just to study abroad and even more with AIFS. I think the staff from AIFS is really helpful, not just with helping you in the academics way, in the academic sense, but also in the way to immerse you into a different culture, present to you different opportunities, and at the same time, just connect with other people.
Yes, definitely. I totally agree, especially through AIFS. There's a lot of different options that not other kind of study abroad programs can offer with excursions and like the ambassadors and everything that goes with you while you're there to kind of help you feel comfortable in your new environment. It's definitely, I think, one of the biggest benefits of AIFS is having that group with you, like as you're going around the country. So, did you notice in Spain, was there any kind of focus on like fighting climate change or kind of more like green initiatives while you were there?
One of the initiatives that I noticed most is just the bins containers. They
Hmm.
would have container to recycle the different stuff you will use in a daily basis. That's something that really impacted me because from where I'm from Southwest Texas. I do not see that very often. It's
Yeah.
pretty much you take out the trash, that's pretty much it. Just looking at how they try to maintain their environment. For example, these they would be connected to the bottle. They do not usually
Yeah, yeah,
just.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if you get me, but
Yes.
I think it's great what they do in Spain. I think there's something that we should do in the US. One of the things that amazed me the most, one of the things that I like the most is that they drink tap water. It's
Mm-hmm.
so just how safe it is to drink tap water when you
Yeah.
go to a restaurant. You don't have to pay for a bottle of water or anything like that.
Yeah, that is another thing that stood out to me was the bottle caps, like sticking, like being a part of the cup itself. Yeah, that
Mhm.
I was like when I first tried to get it off, I was like, wait, why is it not coming off? And then I realized it's actually attached to it. And then when I finally came back to the United States, I was like, oh wow, I can actually
Yeah.
take the whole thing off. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think we should do that in the US.
Yeah.
I think it's really helpful for the environment. From
Yeah.
where I'm from, they usually collect them,
Yeah.
and they usually collect them. And whenever you collect so many, they pay for cancer treatments for people.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So I think just by taking care of the environment, if we all come together and take care of the environment, I think it's a great thing. Not only for us as a population, but also for animals, people,
Yeah.
the world in general.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that there's so many benefits to it that I wish that America was a little bit better on the whole recycling aspect. Yeah, so how did you feel being abroad in your own kind of identity? Did you kind of feel like there was any culture shock when you first went abroad, or was it kind of an easier transition?
Was I definitely had a lot of culture shocks. When I went to Spain, I took a international management course. And
Mm.
in this course, we would learn about different cultures. So they taught us how to interpret the Spanish culture and other cultures, of course, of the world, how they do not really have a personal space in
Hmm.
them. They're recognized as low contact societies. In this way, they do not have that much personal space. They're more direct.
Hmm.
And I think it's really interesting for me. I was raised in Mexico. Then later, after 12 years, I went and lived in the US in Texas. Live ever since now. I'm 20 years old. And just being immersed in two different cultures between Mexico and the US, which are they're really different. And
Hmm.
going to another culture, I even
Yeah.
have culture shocks, even from the US.
Hmm.
So I had culture shocks from the US, I had culture shocks from Spanish culture. And when I came back, I had culture shocks from both for the Mexico and the
Yeah.
US. It's really interesting. That's one of the reasons that I would recommend everyone just to study abroad because you understand yourself more than you do before. And I think it is something that has benefited me a lot just to
Mhm.
have a different perspective of things.
Yeah, you really don't kind of understand how different each place in the world is until you're able to actually go and experience it. And yeah, I totally agree. I think everybody should be able to study abroad if they can and be able to kind of see firsthand what it's like outside of the country that they're from.
Also, I met a lot of people from different Latin American countries. Just I had culture shocks with different cultures from Latin American countries, Argentina, Paraguay, República Dominicana. It was really interesting how even though we're all different, we all share some similarities, and just learning from them, I
Mhm.
think it connects us very much.
You did say that Spanish is your first language.
Yes.
Did you kind of experience any kind of still, I guess not like language barriers, but I guess each different kind of country you go in and region, there's kind of different, I guess, ways you can pronounce words or different like slang terms. Because you said you were from Mexico and then going to Spain. Did you kind of notice that there was any kind of like differences in the two different countries and like how did you adapt and learn?
Yes, I did have, even when I first arrived, I had a lot of difficulties to talk to people from Spain. We all speak the same language, but we, of course, have different accents and different
Mhm.
terms. For example, when I first arrived, I asked for a café americano, and they gave me an espresso. I'm not sure why. Maybe, maybe they were in a hurry, but
Yeah.
it was just interesting to see. I traveled to around 4 cities in
Hmm.
Spain. One of the cities that I had the most difficulty to talk to people it was Sevilla. They talk very fast in
Yeah.
Spanish, so it was difficult to talk to them. But it was great just to have that experience and during my study abroad, just because of the way that I can now see the world of
Yeah.
how the Spanish is so big around the world. The
Mhm.
language, the Spanish language,
Yeah.
and not even with Spanish people that it's I would have difficulty with them. I would also have difficulty to talk to people from Colombia or difficulty with people from Venezuela. But it's something that I would encourage English speakers because you're not just learning about Spain, you're actually learning about people from other countries that are arriving to Spain.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's always like no matter where you go, there's always kind of different, even if it is the same language, different accents or different like slang terms that you kind of have to learn and adapt to as you're there. So even if you go to a place where you speak the language, you might still be learning some new stuff while you're there, which is pretty cool.
And also to be respectful to them,
Yes.
because, for example, although I have my own vocabulary and it's different from people
Hmm.
vocabulary that is used in Spain. I tried to learn the words in Spain
Hmm.
because I wanted to be respectful.
Yeah.
Because I do not want to use words that may mean something else. For
Yes.
example, when I talk to them, they would be like, "Oh, do you know what this is?" And they're like, "I have never heard that word in my life."
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I just adapted to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that that's great going to another country and just trying to be respectful and just learning and adapting to the way that things are over there, for sure. So, thinking back again to before you went, kind of right before you were going, packing, was there anything kind of specific that you wish you had packed that you hadn't, or anything that you did pack that you were like, oh, I guess I didn't really need this?
Honestly, during my orientation with the AIFS from my university, it was recommended to me to not take a lot of stuff, which I appreciate very, very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate the information, and
Mhm.
for anyone that is studying abroad, I would recommend not taking as much. Just in
Yeah.
general, there's washing machines, there's dryers, so
Yeah.
you can wash your clothes. And one of the reasons that I would recommend that is because just because we can buy a lot of stuff in the other country and just bring
Yeah.
so much stuff back. For example, in Spain, they have a store, it's called Primark. It's
Hmm.
so cheap. So
Yeah.
cheap. For example, some shorts, a shirt, or maybe some sandals. Everything costs €5. It's pretty cheap. So
Yeah.
I would recommend that. Also, I have friends that have studied in Italy or in South Korea. It's really cheap. They come back to the US. They even have a different style of
Yeah.
how they dress.
Yep.
So I would I would encourage people not to take a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
And for hygiene stuff,
Yeah.
I would recommend just taking just sufficient once they get to the country, once they go travel or get into their study abroad location,
Yeah.
just buy everything there.
I 100% agree. Yeah, you're gonna end up, I feel like a lot of the times buying stuff there or just getting stuff just from living there. You're gonna need some things or see anything you want. Make sure you have enough space to be able to bring it back with you. In most cases, underpacking is the way to go because you can always go out and buy stuff when you're there. If you overpack, then you gotta maybe get rid of some stuff, which you might not want to do.
Yes, I had a friend who took a lot of stuff. She took like 2 luggages,
Yeah.
and she's like, I pretty much left one luggage in
Yeah.
Spain to take one back, and she
Yeah.
even purchased another one
Oh my gosh.
to take back. So
Yeah.
just not do not take that much stuff.
So I have one last question for you. What is a piece of advice that you would give someone who's thinking about studying abroad?
I think it's just not to think about it that much, just about doing it. At
Mhm.
first, as I said in the beginning,
Yeah.
I was thinking too much. But then, as I was just worried about the finances, about how everything was going to happen, about how it can be quite expensive.
Yeah.
But just by taking a step, I was able to get around 4 scholarships from AIFS. And
Mhm.
AIFS is a program that I really appreciate. The people from AIFS, I really appreciate them just in the sense of how they have helped me.
Mhm.
And it's a program that I would recommend.
There are so many different like sources that you can go through on our website or talk to people like through our website and different ways you can kind of get more information. That there's so many different opportunities for scholarships and just to learn more about the programs in general to find whatever works best for you. That there's definitely, if you're interested in studying abroad, there's so many different places you can go, programs you can do, times of the year you can go also, that there should be something for everybody, which, yeah, I think is really great about this specific program.
For sure, and also that they have the opportunity, as you may know, that to intern abroad, which is
Yes.
something that it's great. I met a lot of people from AIFS that they were interning abroad.
Mhm.
They will talk about their experience, how these employers are providing the opportunity to be involved in the work they will in a different country, and I think it opens so many doors to people.
Oh, yeah. Interning abroad, I think, is one of the best parts of this program because, like you said, it opens so many doors. It gives you the chance to actually learn what it's like to work in another country if that's what you want to do. And I think it's a great, like, baseline for people who are really seriously interested in doing that.
Definitely, yes. I think just take the first step for everyone that is watching. Take the first step. If I was able to do it, if so many people have been able to do it, just take the
Yeah.
first step.
Thank you so much, Sebastian, for all of your insight and all your advice. It was very, very helpful for everybody tuning in, I'm sure.
Thank you for inviting me to this. It was great to be in this meeting.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you again. And thank you, everybody, for watching and tuning in. Thank you.